The following presentation is brought to you through the meaningful relationships created through NotaryStars.com. Notary Stars is the only notary training platform and resource library offering 150 plus hours of training on every aspect of a signing agent's career, including over 35 different loan products. Oh, and their loan signing agent training is available in both English and Spanish. Members of Notary Stars are definitely dedicated to signing agent excellence, together with partners like the Remote Online Notary Network, which focuses on notaries who are pioneering in remote online notary. Notary Stars strives to give you a safe place to ask questions, get answers, gain confidence in your notary career, and achieve success without over-fabricating the truths about our industry. If you would like to support Notary Stars or the Remote Online Notary Network, please consider liking this video, subscribing to their channels, sharing this video with a colleague, or becoming a member of either site and trusting them to help you achieve the level of success you desire.
Hey everybody, I hope this is the best part of your Monday, and welcome back to Monday General Mentorship, as we like to call it, MGM. If you've had a seat at this table before, we welcome you back. If you're new, you got to know we saved a seat for you. Thanks for being here. Our mission at Notary Stars is to give notaries the truth, the tools, and the training needed to succeed. We've created America's most reliable network of notaries, and our comprehensive curriculum covers everything from fundamental concepts to complex loan files in both English and Spanish. We also have RON training and top-notch marketing training. If you're a member, you have access to live classes every day of the week and an extensive on-demand video library. And here's a quick alert, and I think we talked about this last week. Guys, leads generated from the profiles that you create as a member on our network, on Notary Stars, those leads are increasing. So please be sure to check your leads when they come in and respond to them. Otherwise, we're assigning them to alternative notaries in your area. So make sure your job leads are not going into your spam folder as well. As we get started today, please, as always, feel free to raise your hand, your virtual hand, to ask a question or even share an experience, but don't be shy. We're all here to learn and grow together. Mr. Mickle is not here, so we're going to spend the bulk of our evening catching up on all of those jot form questions that have been submitted. But before we get started, Miss Amy, do you have any announcements for the RON Network?
I do. It's kind of a personal one. So it is my birthday month, and the dates of our class fell on my birthday. And guess what I'm not doing on my birthday? So we moved the dates of the class. So we are going to have a class again this Friday, and then 2 weeks from now on the 24th. So please make note of that in your scheduling.
So the 10th and the 24th, right?
Correct.
Perfect. Awesome. And we have something else that's happening on the 11th. Mr. Manuel, our Spanish instructor, is holding his first class. So watch your emails for the Spanish speaking or bilingual community. It doesn't have to be particularly Spanish, but bilingual community, the 11th on Saturday, you're going to be getting a notification that and he's saying, don't forget to plug my class. I got it. You'll be getting an email with a login information. Registration is going to be required. So just plug in your name, your email address. That email has to be the same one that you use on your Zoom account, or it won't let you in. So watch for that information. We do have this week's Notary Moment coming up, and that's going to be presented by Manuel Puga as well. Mr. Manuel, take it away.
Yeah, that's me. Hi, everyone. Hi, Ms. Beth. So this week, October 1st, 2025, California just released a new redesigned driver license and ID cards. So if you want to look at, and also Texas. So if you want to find out about the new updates or redesign, just Google, California or Texas redesign driver license or IDs, and you'll see all the information. Why we bring this up, this is not only important for California or Texas notaries, it's also important for the rest of the Notaries Commission in any other states, right? Keep in mind that signers travel from time to time to other states, and they bring their documents, so they are going to produce their home state ID. So you want to stay vigilant. I have it's called ID checking guide, ID checking guide. I got this from NNA. This is a 2024, so I'm about to buy the newest one. So just make sure this is your best friend when it comes to, like, if you don't know what to look for, this is really very, very helpful.
Good advice. Thank you for that, Mr. Manuel. Let me see. There was something going on in the chat. Let me check this here for a second. Maybe we can do this first. Request to do an individual to do an exit permit in Spanish. This could be your area, Mr. Manuel. Exit permit in Spanish. He's planning to travel with his 7-year-old son to Colombia in late December. He says he needs an exit permit since he's the only parent traveling with him. I've never done this before, and so need advice on what to tell him. Manuel, have you done an exit permit before?
I have not done that. What I do, and I don't know if this question is referring to more like minor consent form, like a travel minor consent form. But I know those documents have been requested multiple times, right? So they maybe call it different, but from my knowledge, it's just a travel consent form, just basically letting the parent travel with the minor. But if they do want an in-depth, more like a power of attorney, that type of thing, then I usually refer them to another business in my area.
Awesome. Awesome. Anything to add to that, Miss Kirsten?
No, I'm about to drop in an article about travel consent forms. So in just one moment, after I find it, I will add it to the chat.
There you go, Darlene. So we've got a little bit of information from Mr. Manuel to assist you there, and then a travel consent form blog article that Kirsten's going to pop into the chat for you. And somebody called Bestie Notary Plus has their hand raised. So I don't know if this is a male or female, but if you want to ask your question, go ahead. Oops, where'd you go? I've got to unmute you. Put your hand back up so I can find you. There you go. Now you can unmute.
Hello, this is Sharon. It's Batiste Mobile Notaries.
Batiste.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. One question is, just was wondering when I was looking at my reviews, I was wondering, do the companies look at our reviews as well?
The reviews that you have on Notary Stars? Or
No.
the reviews that you have on your website or your Google My Business?
Yeah, the Google My Business.
I would say probably yes, not every day, and not when they're just getting ready to try and assign something to you. I mean, if they have time to do that, they are looking if they've not worked with you before. Kind of depends on each signing service. In particular, if it's a title company, 100%, they're looking at it every time they assign. Kirsten?
Okay. That's good to know.
That's my understanding too. I'm not too familiar on the back end of all that, but if people are hiring you from just the general public, they're going to read all those reviews, both Notary Stars and Google Business Profile.
Yeah.
So sometimes title companies who don't work for signing services or have a contract with them, they are on their own. And if they have a signing in your area, they are definitely Googling notaries in that area, right? They do definitely see those reviews. I have calls, not every day, but when they do call me, I'm always curious how they found me, right? So they always said I looked up notaries in your area, and we chose you because you have great reviews. So that's how I know they read the reviews.
Yeah, for sure.
Good to know. Okay, the one more question is, what do you do if you have a notarization? I have like a mobile notary stamp, but I don't have my journal with me. What should I start carrying my journal as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. What state are you in?
Michigan.
Journal required in the state of Michigan?
No, it's not required, but it's best practice.
Yeah, definitely best practice, and best practice to do it at the time of the signing, not before, not after. And doing that consistently in your practice. If you should ever need to be called into court or refer to your journal, they're going to see that consistency in your journal. One way you can show that you completed it at the table, or at least partially completed it at the table. We know we've got to have a signature from our signers, right?
Correct.
So if you do it after, then because you forgot your journal, you're not going to have a signature. And that raises a question in courts saying, well, sometimes she does have a signature, sometimes she doesn't have this information. So consistency is going to be your key here.
And
Okay.
consecutive, and being consecutive. So if you have a travel journal versus a normal notary journal, you want to make sure you're consecutive in your dates. So I would stick with just one. I would check, maybe, does Michigan allow electronic journals?
Yes, they do.
So something like Jurat Ink would be a good one for you, because that just is on your phone. So you could have that with your mobile travel stamp, and you wouldn't have to worry about lugging around a journal. But be consistent and consecutive, and just make sure you know your state rules in how many journals you can have at one time as well.
Oh, okay. So if I switch from a manual journal to an e-journal, how do I get my signatures? Do I just what do I do with the manual journal?
You would void it, right, Beth?
Just, yeah, you're going to keep that for the end of all time, I say. If it's not required in your state, you're going to keep it forever. But some only require 5, 7, or 10 years. But the rest of the empty pages in your journal, just disable them, slash a line through them, disabled, all the way through the end, intentionally disabled, right? And then put a note at the very end that you started your e-journal on this particular date. So they know that you have entries in there from March of 2025 through October of 2025. And after that, last date in the journal, you started your e-journal.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I had 3 questions. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All righty. Eve. Hello, Eve. How are you? There you go.
Hi. I'm doing something tomorrow that I haven't done before, and I wondered if anybody has some hints. It doesn't look too hard, but you never know sometimes. It's called identity proofing service. So I just have to look at his ID, and he has to sign a jurat saying he did that. But if anybody has any hints, I would appreciate it.
I've not personally done an identity proofing, but I would say that if you're doing that, you better be 110% certain they are who they are. Because if you're doing that in advance of something, they're trying to positively identify somebody, for sure.
Yeah, they're trying to get a job. It's an employment deal. Okay.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Some states, no, I'm going to retract that. I was going to say some states specifically have a certificate for identity proofing, but that's not true. They have proofs, and that's not the same thing. So retract, back up. Johanna, go ahead. go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
All right, thank you. I have two questions. One is, how do we get notified that we have leads on the website? I'm assuming I haven't gotten one, and so, but you guys have mentioned it a couple of times in the last couple of meetings, and I just want to make sure that I'm attentive to those notifications. And how do we get notified? Is it through email?
You will receive an email when you get the lead. You will also receive a text message, which is what I send out when we get a lead for you. And so you need to make sure that we have the correct phone number and that the email that you have is correct, but also that you haven't blocked the Notary Stars email. So you need to make sure you are able to receive the newsletters and everything, because that's tied to the same email. So they will come in, and then if you guys don't take them, like Beth was saying, we assign them. I have to assign them to someone else. So what the client does is they find your Notary Stars profile and they click hire a notary, schedule now, and they get your phone number, or they send it through a contact form and it goes under your profile. And sometimes they'll do multiple different orders. So make sure you're really quick on getting those leads.
Yes, I did receive a phone call, and when I asked, he said, "Oh, the Notary Stars website," which was exciting to hear, but he called instead. So that was great, right? But okay, so yeah, no, I do get all the letters. In fact, I'm registered on the remote online notary network, so I get the letter several times.
Yeah.
So I'm good with that. And my last question is, when is the book coming out? I know that you guys said October. I just wanted to know.
Well, I don't have a hard and fast date for you. It was supposed to be, we were supposed to get that information this week and it did not come. So we're shooting for a pre-launch on the 15th, but that's not set in stone. So soon. How about that?
Okay. Thank you.
And I just want to add, if you get a lead, even if you can't do it, please still reply, like decline the lead. So then we know to go on to the next person. So it's really helpful when I even see a decline. So
for sure. Yeah, for sure. Mr. Butch. Blazy.
The E is not pronounced.
Okay, excuse me, Blaze. That's why we call you Butch, right?
Yeah, yes, that's why you call me Butch. Yes, ma'am. Okay, Miss Beth, in the journal, even when you're pre-prepping the journal, you have the signer sign the journal, that they sign the document that was in the package, right? Okay, now, I had a package that was 270 pages.
Okay.
Which documents do I have them sign in my journal?
I knew you were going to ask me that. So think about this, Butch. What documents are you recording in your journal? Every document in the package?
No.
Okay. So for me, for Arizona, and it's not required, I get their original signature when I log them into my journal. I'm comparing that signature to the one I see on the driver's license. Then I'm listing each document that I notarize under their name, their header information, right? And then if their signature is different from the way it appears on their driver's license, maybe it's missing a middle initial, maybe it's got a capacity on the end of it. Forget I'm talking about capacities, California. Then that's how I have them sign that document. We know we get to the table and sometimes the signature lines aren't consistent. So if they're signing a certification of trust with a title of trustee, that's how I'm having them sign their name next to that document as well. The next document may not have a capacity on it. And that's how I'm signing their name, having them sign their name in my journal, exactly the way they signed on the document. It's not a requirement. I do that because I was at one time called into court and the guy said, I signed all of those, but I didn't sign this one. Well, the one he was referring to had a different signature on it. It was in my journal, the way he signed it on that document, and that's what proved the case. That's why I do that.
Well, that's a good practice. Okay, I was just making sure. Okay, all right.
Oh, you're
Thank
not going
you.
to write down 280 documents. No.
Right, right. Okay, thank you.
Really good question, though.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's take a couple of questions from the Jot form, and then we'll go back to the hands in the gallery. Mr. Puga, if you want to help us out with those questions.
He got disconnected.
Oh my gosh.
So he's trying to come back in. I don't see him yet. He did message me, but I can read the first one because it is for you, Miss Beth.
Okay.
Okay. So it says, I am a mobile notary and have concerns about pricing my services. In the Arizona notary class on the NNA website, it states I can charge $10 per notarial act and 64 cents per mile for travel. It also says I cannot charge for services. So my question is, what services is referring to? She's watched other videos and where they talk about charging for things like wait time, parking fees, check-in times, but the Arizona Notary course does not say anything about those. So she's also seen websites charge flat fees in Arizona. She just would like some clarification on how to price her mobile services.
Well, the other videos that she's watching are not for the state of Arizona, that's for sure. That's probably California. But for Arizona, we are limited to $10 per notarization, and travel, it's not 64 cents a mile. It's actually 67 cents per mile currently. And that's not the IRS rate. That's the Arizona employee rate, right? So we have to watch a different manual to make sure we're charging and keeping up with any changes in the per mileage rate. But there are no other fees that we can charge. We cannot charge a wait time. We can't charge a toll fee, which we don't have toll bridges in Arizona, but nonetheless, if we did, we still couldn't charge that. So no wait fees, no other print fees, no ancillary fees. That's for general notary work. Forget about loan signings. That's a different animal. But when we're going out to do general notary work, we can't hardly make any money on it. It better be really close to home. Or they're coming to our office so we can just charge that $10 because that's what we're limited to. So that was from Jen V. I don't think she's here tonight, but I hope that helped answer her question. Did Manuel make it back yet?
Yes, he did.
Manuel, we just answered one of the Jot form questions. If you would go ahead and read the one from Tiffany. This actually is for Kirsten, so we're kind of swapping places here again.
Absolutely sorry about that. So this question came from Tiffany W. This is for Kirsten. How can I get more loan signing assignments? Marketing? Do I need to be a long time, well-known notary? I have completed my NNA certification and Notary to Pro certification. I am certified with IPAN, Electronic Notary. I have signed up with over 11 signing services. I have completed approximately 21 loan assignments and have been an NC commission notary since April 2025.
So North Carolina commission notary since April 2025. Well, you don't have to be a long time or well-known notary to get consistent work. You just need to be able to be seen, dependable, easy to reach. And over time, you'll get that reputation of being the notary that everyone wants. So you want to make sure that Google Business is up to date. That's more for general notary work, the general public, but some title companies and attorneys can find you there. Professional website, social media, but also making sure all of your profiles are completely filled out on all the signing services and make sure you're responding and have your notifications turned on for those signing services. And just be consistent with all your profiles so that it all reads the same and you just fill it out and it will come. It also depends on if the market is saturated around your area. If there's a lot of notaries, it'll take a little bit for you to kind of rise to the top of all the notifications going out. Anyone else have anything to add to that?
I think that pretty well covers it, for sure. Good job. Hope that helps Tiffany out a little bit. Let's do one more, Manuel. This one's going to be for Amy from a jot form.
All right.
Hang on just a minute. I think Manuel's frozen again.
I think he is too.
Let me go ahead and read this for you, Miss Amy. This is from Joyce. She says, can remote online notary network platform be used to register with my state?
Oh, well, that's an interesting question. So technically speaking, remote online notary network is not a RON platform. So you would not register us with your Secretary of State. However, if you're utilizing the discounted access to Pro Notary, you would want to register Pro Notary as the RON platform you're utilizing, even if you're white labeling it, because it is being run by the MISMO certified platform.
Oh, right. I didn't even know that. There we go. All right. Pro Notary is who you're registering, not the remote online notary network. Good job. How about Mr. Guy Case? Hello, Guy. How are you?
I am good, Beth. I'm going back a few people. The subject was identity proofing. How is that different than I-9?
It is the I-9 is a government form used to establish that someone is in the country and legally able to work in the U.S. Identity proofing is something different.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Identity proofing generally is for the employer. Now, I don't know that that means the documents are consistent or not, but it's an employer level. Who is Tim? Tim has done those. Tim's in the audience still. Mr. Tim, are you here? He is not. He was. He is not here, but it is specifically not the federal I-9 form when we say identity proofing. Okay. Brenda. Hello, Miss Brenda.
Good evening. I went brain dead today. I had a 3-page affidavit online that I was notarizing for someone, and the venue was on page 1, and the notarization and the signature of the primary signer was on page 3. Should I have put my venue on page 3 also?
Technically, no. Realistically, in this business, if it was real estate, yes. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Affidavits are usually sworn statements, right? We got to give them an oath. It says affidavit at the top. It's got a jurat at the bottom. We know it's a sworn statement. So if we look at our certificates and we think of a jurat with affiant statement, some of you have seen those types of certificates in your handbooks. It just means that we're starting at the top with the venue. The affiant or the signer, the person making the statement, writes his statement in the document. We give him an oath, complete the jurat certificate, and sign and date it. That can be all on 1 page or 3 pages. Typically in real estate, we want to make sure that if we're spanning more than 1 page, we need to restate that venue at the top of our certificate, or someone in that chain of people who are quality checking that document are going to see that you don't have a venue on your certificate, and they might send it back to you and insist that you include it. Just to shortcut it, it's all one document, it's 3 pages. The venue is where you are at the time of the notarization. Sometimes the venue is there and it's the property location. So there's another reason to make sure that we're putting the venue at the top of where our certificate wording starts. So real estate spans more than one page. Yes, go ahead and for just to CYA, put that venue at the top of your certificate. And listen, guys, if you've been doing this long enough, you're going to find that jurats all have the same problem. Almost all of them have the same problem. There's no venue where they start. It's at the top of the page. Does that help, Brenda?
It does. It does. Thank you so much.
Okay. All righty. Oh, Miss Susan. Go ahead and unmute and ask your question, Susan.
Hey, everybody. So I've got a question. Is there anything, an app or anything similar to Persona that we can use at mobile appointments to verify IDs? I mean, if we have a question, if maybe we think there may be something a little funky with them.
You mean an ID verification app on your phone?
Yeah.
There are a couple of them out there. We did another blog article talking about how to spot a fake ID. It lists a few different apps that you can employ to verify an ID. But what that does is read the magnetic strip on the back of those IDs, and you're looking at the information it displays and comparing it to what's on the front. That's
so it's
all.
Similar to what the Jurat Inc. e-journal does, basically.
Very similar, but it's still up to you. Here's the reason that is another step, but not the whole enchilada. Okay. It's only when we think about a fake ID, generally those fraudsters, those thieves are only faking the front of the ID. They don't have access to that magnetic strip, or maybe they do and they're just not putting in the time, money, and effort to recreate the back as well. So they're using legitimate back information, but fake front information, and oftentimes they don't match. And that's why those apps are valuable, because they can pick up those things. Is that the whole ball of wax? No, because some very high dollar, $250 IDs on the dark web will be complete front and back matching fake information. So it's not the whole enchilada, but it helps.
So then I thought I had read that the new California IDs are not going to have the magnetic strip.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. I thought I read that. That may not be the case, but if they don't have the magnetic strip, well, I guess the e-journals will have to figure that out on their own.
Yeah, I don't know if they are not incorporating that magnetic strip, but yeah.
I may have misread that. I'm not sure, but I could have sworn, unless I was dreaming of mobile notary at the time. I
don't know. Manuel, do you know if the new California IDs or driver's license are absent of that magnetic strip?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Okay. We might have an answer for you here in a minute or two. In the meantime, Susan, I'm going to go ahead and put your hand down.
Oh, sorry about that.
And then Manuel, if you get an answer, we'll let you pop in and tell Susan what we know.
Sounds good.
One more hand up. Alicia. Alicia, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. You're very soft, but we can hear you.
Okay, hi. My question is about the RON platform. What is the cost of the RON platform for Notary Stars? Even though I think someone asked about this earlier on, and you mentioned it, that Notary Stars does not do that. You use something else. But what would be the package? What does that look like?
Go ahead, Amy.
I was waiting for her to finish. Oh, so what you would have to do as a Notary Stars member, you would have to go to Remote Online Notary Network and get an Explorer package, and that is $19.99 a month. And then you would get the Pro Notary discount of, and it would be $29 a month. So you would have to have those extra steps in order to get the discount because the discount's offered on Remote Online Notary Network.
Okay, and then my last question is, I saw two. I saw the Explorer and I saw one before the Explorer. What's the difference between the two?
Well, so the Explorer level gives you the listing and gives you access to the discounts. But the Pioneer level gives you access to training. But you just said you're part of Notary Stars. It's the same training packages and the dynamic website access. So as long as you have that access on Notary Stars, you don't need to also purchase it on Remote Online Notary Network because you would be basically buying the same thing twice.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Thank you.
Perfect.
No problem.
Manuel, we had somebody in the chat, Carrie Gray, who actually says his new Real ID from California has a magnetic strip and several other ID strips. I don't know if that's the same ID that we're talking about currently because it's just being retooled. I don't even know if they've issued any of the new IDs quite yet. Do you have a follow-up for us?
Yeah, so we're going to start on October 1st, releasing those IDs, right? But the only thing that they're adding is just a digital security signature to one of the two barcodes on the back of the cards. So it doesn't say that they are getting rid of any barcodes. It just says that they are adding a digital security signature to one of the two barcodes.
Awesome. Okay. Susan, I think that might answer your question. Maybe. Still don't know if that barcode's not gonna, or I mean that strip is going to be there.
I will do in-depth research and I'll get back to her next week with more information.
Perfect. Thank you, Manuel. Speaking of referencing Mr. Manuel, we do have a question on the jot form for you, and I'd like to take a minute and read it so you can help us answer it.
Absolutely.
This is from Terry J. It says, I'm new to being a notary and would like to become a loan signing agent. I've signed one trust will document when I worked as a paralegal. I'm looking for guidance and knowledge. So where would you tell her to start?
Oh, absolutely. Notary Starts, 100%. Now, I would like to make just one clarification because new notaries think that in order for them to start getting jobs as a signing, let's say, what do you call it? A signing agent, right? They need to have some type of certification. And I would like to say that that is not always the case, right? However, the NNA has a certification that is well known in the industry and as also as a standard for bidding, right? So big companies like title companies, signing service companies, they are always looking for notaries who had gone through the NNA certification and also background check, right? As far as she's also looking for guidance and knowledge, here at Notary Starts, we have what she's asking for. Basically, we have, what was her name? Terry?
Terry. Mm-hmm.
Terry. So we have over 30 on-demand loan files here at Notary Starts. That includes refinance, seller, buyers, HELOC packages, right? New construction. We also have a lot of knowledge here at Notary Starts, like Ronnie in the marketing sector, Amy, remote online, Mrs. Beth in loan signing, and many more things, right? Kirsten in the notary education and training, and myself as the Spanish notary sector. So a lot of knowledge here.
Thanks for the plug. But he's absolutely right. There's no certifications that are 100% required. You will have signing services who want to see that NNA certification, and it's more for the background screening. The exam through NNA is more SPW questions and ethics than it is on how to conduct a loan signing, right? So they're looking for background screened notaries who have taken that pledge, that code of conduct, to do the right thing, right? So that's where that comes from.
Yeah. Also, I forgot to mention, Ms. Beth, that we have a comprehensive skill-based training that you can take with us as well.
Awesome. We have a lot of training. I have to tell you, and I don't know, Kirsten might say that's not true, but we have so much stuff on the website, even Amy, we just have so much information all the time that it's almost overwhelming. You know, sometimes you need Kirsten, our new notary liaison, just there to walk you through the website and tell you everything that we have and to kind of guide you on your way if you're just getting started, for sure. All righty. We have Michelle has her hand up in the audience. Michelle, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
Yes. Hi, Beth.
Hello.
Let's see. I had two quick questions. The first was I wanted to find out how to go about adding my Google listing reviews onto Notary Stars.
That is not available just yet. That is still a work in progress.
Okay. So then my second question is, you were just talking about if you have your notary, if something goes, your notary certificate goes onto more than one page, say it starts on one page and goes on to the other. And I'm not talking about with loan signings, but more like with estate planning documents. Is that a problem or not? If an attorney drafts it that way, do you just complete it the way it is, or is that an issue?
So are you talking about the certificate itself?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I hear you saying is because the attorney drafted it that way, it must be okay.
No, I'm asking.
Okay. So I want to kind of steer you away from that kind of thinking. We have a tendency to respect authority. And an attorney is a higher authority than we are. But here's what I want you to know. There are very few attorneys who specialize in notarial law. You should be the expert in your state. You've been a notary there for X number of years. You should know your statutes inside and out, and you should know what you can and can't do. Splitting a certificate onto 2 pages is not acceptable. Has to be all on 1 page. Your venue through your notarial wording, save, we're talking about everything except for that jurat with affiant statement. We still want it on 1 page, but your certificate split onto 2 pages, definitely not going to fly. If it was on a recordable document, Michelle, the secretaries of state, or excuse me, the recorder's offices would probably reject it as well.
So you don't think it would hold up in court? If it's something that's already done, is it something you would contact, would you go back and mention it or just let it go?
So I'm guessing you already did a split certificate and you're worried about it?
Maybe.
You're just asking for a friend, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I would let it go. If it was very recently and you have the ability to fix that situation easily, yes. Otherwise, I would let it go. That attorney decided that was fine. It's more, if it got called into court for any reason, they will try and pick apart your certificate. So, let me put it this way. If it were me, I know that I didn't discharge my duties as a notary 100% correctly, and I would really want to fix it at any cost. I just would not like for something to happen down the road and to have a will or an estate document fall through the cracks because I messed up a certificate. And it's happened. You can even do a Scrivener's affidavit on that. You know, you don't have to redo the document. You can do a Scrivener's affidavit that just said that you have completed a split certificate and that you wanted to rectify it into a single contiguous certificate for the record.
So that's an affidavit that I don't know. Could you say that one more time?
Called a Scrivener's affidavit. You can Google it. It just says that you're making a correction to something that's already been completed and employed. They're already using the document. Okay? And you can even, if you have a relationship with that attorney, just call them and say, hey, that certificate is a split certificate. I realized in my state, I actually can't do that lawfully. Can we redo it or do a Scrivener's affidavit for it? Just don't want it to get rejected when something happens further down the road and it becomes impossible to fix it. Can we fix it now?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I dropped the blog that Beth wrote about those types of affidavits. So
okay.
Ms. Smith, can I add one more thing?
Sure.
Okay, so also sometimes I have gotten those certificates whether it's an acknowledgement or a jurat, sometimes they are the notary certificate is on the same page, but in between I have seen the signatures of the signer. So for Michelle, for her knowledge, is like when we say a complete notary certificate, it has to start, like Mrs. Beth said, like in California, we have the disclaimer box at the very top that we have to have it all the way down to our signature. So if you have anything in between two, that's not okay.
Okay.
Were you able to hear him? He was kind of going in and out with his audio. Did you catch that?
I think he said that it all had that there can't be anything in between the wording of the certificate.
Yeah, he was saying even in California, it has to be all on one. It can't be even adding anything in between that where that certificate starts and where it ends, where that disclaimer is. And this is for California, not your state, Florida, right? So.
Okay. Thank you.
All righty. All right. Oh gosh, how about I'm going to ask Miss Kirsten a question off the jot form. Manuel, stand by. I'm going to read this for Kirsten. This is from Anthony H. I'm trying to get through some of these jot form questions. We've got about 12 minutes left in our session tonight. This says, I'm home-based, and I'm uncomfortable listing my personal cell and home address as my business address on my marketing ads, websites, social media, or listing sites. How are other notaries working around this issue? I found a few sites that sell virtual addresses and phone numbers. Are there service providers you could recommend, or do you even recommend buying a fake address?
Well, so Anthony, most of us are home-based as well, and some places need an actual address. So Google and other listing platforms require a verifiable address. So you can use virtual business addresses. I am not familiar with using them. If anyone uses one, if they want to drop that in the chat, that would be wonderful. But you could also, on Google profile, you can hide your service area so that they don't see your personal information. For your marketing products, you don't need to put your address on there at all. You can just say where you service. Let's see what else. But so profile listings, you will need to have an address with them because they need to use it for searching. So to see if you're close to their signings, you will need to give them one for if they are mailing you documents. If you have someone who hires you that needs that done, or a to pay you a check. We all want those. And for your cell phone, you can easily, I think Verizon has a cheap additional phone line option. I've used Google Voice, any of those VoIP phone systems, so voice over internet protocol. Be aware that some platforms or apps will not use them because they are using internet instead of a phone line. So just be aware of that if you are signing up for, say, like Zelle. It doesn't like VoIP, at least through my bank account. But I mean, I use a PO box, so that hasn't given me any issues on anything I've signed up with. And it looks like a lot of people are, well, we have iPostal in there. We had the UPS post office box, Alliance, UPS, Regis. Yeah, it looks like we're having a lot of different examples in there. So virtual address, someone uses Grasshopper for phone, Google Voice, lots of different things. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully you're here. And if you already checked the chat, if you guys want this information too, don't forget to download the chat before we end tonight. So
April was not here, but hopefully she'll catch it on the replay. We do have somebody else here, however, Miss Delora. Kirsten, if you can find her and pin her. Delora Snyder is our resident health insurance provider for self-employed individuals. Delora, I don't see you.
I pinned her.
There you go. You should be unmuted. There you go.
No.
Thanks for having me. Again, it's been quite some time now. I think almost 2 years, maybe. But anyways, I'm here to help you all, and this is the perfect time for me to pop in for you because if you don't know, you should know. And now you know that open enrollment is right around the corner. It's going to
Delora,
again.
pardon the interruption. Do you have a boom mic or something you need to plug in? We can just barely hear you.
Let me just take my headphones off. Okay, can you hear me now?
Much better.
Okay. So if you don't know, you should know, and I'm telling you now that open enrollment is right around the corner for health coverage. So this is definitely the time that you should be looking at your health coverage options. Open enrollment begins on November 1st, and that's an ACA or marketplace open enrollment. So if you have group coverage, it could be different, or private coverage, you can actually get all year long. But not everybody qualifies for private coverage, and there's some income standards within the marketplace where you might be able to get subsidized. So if you need any help looking at your health insurance options, I am here for you. My information will be in the chat. So you can feel free to reach out to me, set an appointment early on. My calendar does get booked during open enrollment. So make sure you go ahead and get on my calendar, and we'll look at all of your options coming up for next year's health coverage for you.
Awesome. Perfect. Delora's been with us for over a year now, and she has done a lot for our community of self-employed individuals to help us all find affordable health care. Does that mean that she sends you to the marketplace? If that's what you need, yeah. If she can't help you and your better options are on the marketplace, 100%. She's going to do what's best for you. So we really highly recommend Delora for advice to our notary base, and feel really lucky to have you on board as one of our partners, Delora. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Likewise, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to help. And I'm here anytime you need me.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Thank you so much. We're going to move on. We've got 7 minutes left in the hour, and we've got 5 hands up. So let's go ahead and finish those up, and we will say our goodbyes. But first, Claire, would you like to unmute and ask your question? See if we can get these 5 hands before the clock runs down too much. We might be a minute or two over.
Hi, Beth.
Hi there.
Thank you. Yeah. So I have a couple questions. Let's see. The first one is I want to take the loan doc signing. I'm just not sure which one I should do first. Which certification? Should it be with Notary Star or with the NNA?
Well, they're 2 different animals, I'll tell you that. NNA is required if you're going to work with signing services and title companies. So again, that encompasses the background screening and the ethics test. So you have to have that ethics exam and that background screening, regardless of the rest of your education. So honestly, probably both. I would, if you're very, very new, I would start on the loan signing training at Notary Stars first. And as you get your feet wet and start to develop an understanding of what happens at the table and how you identify documents and your scripts that you're going to use for each of those pages in those particular loan document packages, as you get more comfortable with that and you're ready to really kind of put yourself out there and start accepting orders, that's when you're going to want to go to NNA then and take that background screening and that ethics test. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. So how long would it take to get the certification from Notary Star?
It's a self-paced environment. We don't put you on a schedule. So once you sign up, it's a month-to-month membership. You go at your own pace. If you can finish it in 45 days or 3 months, anywhere around in that time, I would consider you a stellar student. Some people can't do it that fast. Some people have to see it over and over again to develop those good habits. So
Oh, okay. Got it. All right. And also, could I use a tablet doing loan doc signing work or general notary work, or is a laptop?
Are you talking about being a raw notary?
No, just just any notary work or the loan doc signing work. Could I use a tablet?
No, if you're talking about traditional in-person notarizations, it's going to be paper signings. There are some remote ink signings, but again, that may, and what state are you in?
California.
California. Amy, does California have remote ink at all?
No, they have iPen though, so she could utilize that with an iPen process, but those are not very common.
Not common and very rare with loan signings. You probably will never get a loan signing for RIN. Does that answer your question?
Okay, so because I'm shopping for a laptop or an iPad, I just wanted to be sure that, so would you suggest I just get a laptop? Would that be the best?
Probably. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And of course, there are these really cool Lenovo Yoga laptops that once you open them up, they fold back on themselves and it becomes a touch screen. So it feels like you're working on an iPad.
Oh, really? Lenovo?
Mm-hmm. Lenovo Yoga. That's what I have. I love them.
Oh, okay. Great. Thanks. I'll look into that.
Here's another piece of equipment we need to put on the website.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, thank you. And would I also need an NNA membership, and when would you suggest I get that?
I would do your NNA membership can really happen at any time. Once you actually do your background screening and your ethics exam, they actually give you a profile listing on, what's it called?
Find a notary.
I think it's called Find a Notary. Yeah. So you'll have another profile where people can find you as well. So, but your membership at NNA, it honestly is a separate fee from taking your exam and your background screening. So you can do that at any time.
Okay. Okay. One more question regarding a DBA, because I'm in the process of, doing all that. It's just a lot. I'm wondering, can I if I have a DBA, could I put it on my Google business page or on my profiles, or would my personal name have to show up?
I don't have an opinion about that. Kirsten or Amy?
I'm not familiar with that with DBAs.
Are you referring to when you put it in, like for your membership at the NNA?
Yeah, just, for just across the board, I guess. The profiles, the Google business page, social media.
Well, it's going to depend on whichever platform you're at. So, like, if you're doing it on social media, you probably want to put your DBA, your business profile on Google, your DBA. But when you get into like signing profiles, they might have an area for you to put your company name, but they're going to go by people. They're not necessarily going to refer to you as a company. So it's going to be both ways depending on which intake you're going through. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
So let me ask one quick question of you, Claire. Are you using a DBA because you're running two different types of businesses under the same umbrella?
That's my plan. And also, I might be changing my last name officially.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I know who Claire is now.
Hi, Kristen.
Can't see your face. We're guessing here. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. All righty.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. We're going to move on to Affy. Hi, Affy. Oops. There you go.
Hi, good evening, and thank you so much. Very good questions and a lot of information. I have two very quick questions. One that just came up from the last person that asked a question. Did I hear you say that Notary Stars has certification now?
We are working on it. It's supposed to have launched October 1, so we're looking mid-October or I don't know. I hate to throw a date out there because it keeps getting pushed back, but the short answer is yes.
Okay.
Just not employed quite yet.
Not quite yet. Okay. Now my question is really quick. On the notary certificate, many times on the venue, it's got the state, and then it's got city/county. Is it necessary to cross out which does not apply? Because when it comes pre-printed, they don't cross out anything. Because like in the DC area, which I'm sure this also happens in other areas, you have, for example, the city of Fairfax, and then you have Fairfax County. So is it necessary to cross out one or the other?
If they are different, it's not in Virginia or DC, it's not against regulations to put both. If they're the same, then then you're still using Fairfax, right? In your example. So
yes, but what I'm talking about is the city/state, not what you enter. But so do you cross out city and initial if it's going to be I'm sorry, city/county. Sorry about that.
Right.
Yeah. So do you cross out city and initial,
Unless
across
they're
the county?
specifically asking you for city or county, I
Yeah,
would put both. I would always,
just leave it alone.
it's not going to hurt to give them more than what's required by your state. And if it's got city slash county, I would be more inclined to give them both than to.
I see. Okay, okay. So you would not strike out city or county, but you would give them city and county.
Yes, personally, I would because, and here's another example. Louisiana has that a lot. And if we
Mm,
don't put in that whole, when they want where it took place, they
mm,
want everything, the
mm.
parish and the city or the county, whatever they call that county parish. So I would be obliged to put both on those in Louisiana. So I would think if I'm seeing the same thing come out of DC, the difference is that it has a slash. As if you're choosing one or the other, I would just default and give them both.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You bet. Okay. Um, Alicia, is this our last hand up in the gallery? We'll go ahead and get that and then we'll.
I know we're a little over, but I'm going to make this quick. About Jot. Are you guys, Jot is a signing platform, correct? I'm not sure what Jot is, so I have signed up for Jot. So is Notary Stars using or affiliated with Jot? Like in what way? Can you help me understand that a little bit better?
We are not affiliated or associated with Jot, and Notary Stars isn't a signing service, so we don't distribute orders. We have profile listings. When you're a member, we give you a profile listing so that you can piggyback on our 18,000 pages on the website, that monster SEO power. We're giving that to you as a member so that you can blow up. I don't know what that was. Your digital footprint and be seen. So because we do that, a lot of people assume that we're a signing service. We're not. Those orders that come in, they come in because they're after you. The person is after you. That general notary work is looking for you. That signing service is looking for you. It's not us distributing that to you. Does that kind of help?
That clears it up. And then someone earlier on asked about that split form.
Yeah.
I've been a notary for about 6 months now, and I haven't come across that. But what I do know is that we can all learn from each other's mistakes so that we don't repeat mistakes in the notary world. And so, what would a split form look like that you were talking about earlier on?
That's just where the certificate, the beginning of the certificate, if you're in California, starts with that disclaimer box, right? For the rest of us, it's the venue. That's the beginning of your certificate. And the bottom of your certificate is the notary signature, expiration date, and any other information that's required. That's your whole certificate. If it starts on one page and ends on another page, that's considered a split certificate, and that's what we have to avoid.
Okay. So you can't sign on one page and then put your seal on the next page.
Definitely can't do that. No. Right.
Okay. That's a split certificate. Got it. Because it's not on the same document.
Right.
That you're executing.
Everything has to be contained. The certificate can be on a page by itself, but it can't be split onto 2 pages.
Got it. Thank you so much for clearing that up.
All right.
Thank you. Really
All
really
right.
love that. Thank you.
You're welcome. One more question, Guy snuck in on me, and then we've got to wind this up and say goodnight to everybody. East Coast is falling asleep. I can see it now. Kathy's eyes are getting really, really heavy. Go ahead, Guy. Let's wrap it up with you as our last question for the evening.
So, Beth, my thought is this question on Jot. There is Jot form. There is also Jot, which is a signing platform within First American Title.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just wondering if maybe there was some confusion between the two names, which are similar, but one is a in-house notary request platform for First American Title, whereas Jot Form is something that Notary Stars does use, and that's how you're getting some of these questions.
I think she was referencing the signing service. Kirsta?
My understanding, yeah, that's how I took it.
Yeah.
I know that there is one called that.
Yeah.
And
All
Amy
right.
was nodding about it being a signing service as well.
Yeah. Perfect. All right, guys, I think we're going to wrap this up for this evening. It's 10 minutes after 6 o'clock. We went 10 minutes over. That's pretty good for having so many questions this evening. Thank you all so much for coming tonight, for bringing your questions, and for allowing us to be part of your community. We really appreciate it. We're going to do it like Ronnie says. If you're not naked, and you're not eating a sandwich, turn on your cameras, guys. Let's give that Notary Stars wave goodbye. And I have the outro this evening, so I just want to remind everybody that we're all in the same storm, okay? We're just not all in the same boat. Some of us have yachts, some of us have canoes, and some of us are just dog paddling. I just want you to remember to reach back, grab the hand of Jackie Fitzenreiter, and bring her along with you. Whoever's next to you guys, help them along the way. Take them with you. Thank you again. Have a good evening.